Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Tobey, Senior Principal Engineer for Digital Interconnection at Equinix. I have with me today Mohan Atreya.
Pleasure to meet you.
And could you introduce yourself a little bit, and
Sure.
then we'll get into it?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Mohan Atreya. I lead products and solutions at Rafay. Been with the company around 5 years at this point of time. One of the early people in the company. And we partners with Equinix and enjoy the relationship we have.
We love our partners. We have a lot of them, so I'm afraid I don't know what Rafay does.
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about Rafay?
Sure, absolutely. So the primary problem we solve for our customers is essentially in two areas. One is how do I provide self-service experiences for developers when they want access to environments and Kubernetes clusters. So the experienced developers, platform teams want to provide the developers literally, practically speaking, click a button and it comes up. Right? They don't need to know the nuances of Terraform, access to credentials, maybe shoot themselves in the foot in the process.
Right.
So kind of abstract everything away, and the platform teams templatize all that, and they provide a very simple experience for the developers and application teams.
So that experience, what you get there, is that like a Kubernetes namespace? Is it kind of more than that?
Yeah, it's more than that.
Are there services that come with it?
Correct. So this is a choice that the platform teams land up making. So of course, the smallest thing they can do is a namespace, like a namespace as a service. Some people go down what is called the cluster as a service, like an entire team gets a whole cluster. Some people live in between that. We call that a workspace, where a platform team says, look, I don't want to be in the business of managing the namespace. I'll give you a quota. You decide how many namespaces you want, but along with this comes access control, right? How do I make sure you as a developer only have access to the namespaces you have, that you created, right? And you're in this weird spot between a cluster administrator and a namespace administrator. You're kind of in between that. So we do that. That's a really cool feature that organizations like. Then, of course, go beyond that. Things like, how do I get a full environment? Kubernetes plus maybe a managed database plus object storage, things outside Kubernetes, which may be critical for the app developer. So all the way up, the key thing in this is, how do I impose the controls around it? Because the developer may not know all the nuances of how things can go wrong. So how do I put the guardrails? The platform team comes and makes decisions on, you can change these things you can't change. And the policies could be cost, could be security, could be, like schedules, like, automatically shut down things at a certain time. It could be any of those.
Oh, so it also includes the lifecycle of the resources.
Exactly. Go from version 1 to version 2. Like, think about a customer who has like version 1 of a test bed which has got vulnerabilities, and they want to sweep everyone to a version 2.
Right.
They probably
That's a hard problem.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's a workflow problem.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm hearing from you is you take a lot of the complexity that we throw at developers, especially early in Kubernetes, right? We say, here's your namespace and Helm.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to bring a better experience to developers.
Correct.
That maybe a lot of the same things happen, but more automated.
Correct.
But maybe there's less for them to think about.
Correct. Yeah. Maybe a simple way to think about this is most organizations, the platform teams literally have two kind of personas. People who build this tooling and automation, the best practices, they encapsulate that. And they are the ones probably at KubeCon where they understand the nuances, they care about the nuances, they keep up with the new trends. That's 1% of the...
1%? At best.
Exactly.
Right.
The rest of them, and if for Kubernetes to be successful and pervasive, simplicity has to be there, right? Turnkey experiences, so that any developer who is mostly focused on their application, they don't care about everything else. Everything else just shows up when they need it.